Hi guys, okay, we are almost done with this Literary Lenses novel study packet, and we're actually gonna make one more change. You're gonna delete one more page. So before you do anything else, just delete that last page. It has like the post-it notes with thumbnails, says insert text here, insert text here. You're gonna delete that last one. So you'll just do, it should be number 13 now, the deconstruction analysis number 6. So this one is about a conflict or a struggle between two opposing forces in the story. So this could be between two people. They could be in a conflict. Maybe they don't like each other or they want two different things. So you're gonna put a quote on one of those post-it notes that shows one side of the conflict, and then a quote on the other post-it note that shows the other side of the conflict, and then below it in that little rectangle you're just going to explain, for those of us who haven't read the book and won't understand those quotes, what the conflict here is. The second page was supposed to be you doing that 2 more times, but let's just delete that page. So you're only gonna do it once. So just come up with one conflict within the book. Maybe there's a battle of some kind, or like a contest or a challenge. The enemy could be like a person, it could be a force of nature. It just depends on your book. So like in my book that I read, there are quite a few different oppositions. So like for one of them, this girl that's the babysitter, her boss wants this babysitter to believe that she's a good person. So I could choose a quote where she's kind of trying to show her like all the good things that she's done and how nice she is, but then actually the boss's ex-boyfriend ends up being the babysitter's boyfriend, and he thinks that that boss is a really bad person. So he's telling the babysitter all these bad things about that boss, and so they would have 2 different quotes. They want her to believe 2 different things, and so I could write about that opposition. So again, just do that once. And then yesterday's assignment was the psychological analysis, and again, I think this one is the most fun. This is where you get to be a psychologist. So first, go to the clipboard page and imagine that you are asking these questions of a character in your book. We talked about this in the virtual meeting this week. So like I would pretend that I'm talking to the character Alex, for example, and I would ask her, what are your biggest hopes and dreams? Why? And then I have to imagine how she would answer that. What would she tell me? She wants to be a good mother and a good wife, and she wants people to just think that she's a good person. And she wants to move back to New York City. And then like, what are your favorite fears? Why? And Alex might say, because I need to put it in her point of view, right? So it would be like in the first person. So Alex might say, my greatest fears are people thinking that I'm a terrible person, like being publicly shamed, people thinking I'm a bad mother, something like that. Those are like her greatest fears. Okay, so you're writing those in the first person from the point of view of your character. And I feel like this is sort of backwards, because then you'll go up to the page before that. So after you do this interview with your character, then you, as the therapist, will write your evaluation of them. So based on your findings, how would you assess the character's emotional state? So you are pretending that you are a therapist. So you would say, in my professional opinion as a therapist, I think that Alex knows that she uses people, but she's in denial about how privileged her life has been, and she's not always honest with people. And so I could go into that. And then what type of intervention strategies, if any, would you suggest for this character? And I could say, like, I suggest that this character makes a list of all the ways that her life is different from the life of her babysitter, and recognizes the privileges that she has that make her different from somebody who didn't live a life like hers, or whatever. So your intervention strategies can be anything. They could be more general than that if you want to. So this will be the end of that packet. And this is actually going to be a really useful thing for you to just like keep in your Google Drive going into high school, because these are the types of like analyses that you're gonna do with books all the way through college, really. So having practice with this is gonna be really useful for you. So on Friday, when we do Flipgrid Friday, I want to hear from you about the psychological analysis, since that's my favorite part. So you're gonna tell us who in your book you are interviewing. You will tell us just one of these 10 questions. It doesn't matter which one, just pick one and say, I asked Alex, question number 5, who do you turn to when you need help and why? And then I could tell you, Alex said, when I need help, I turn to my 3 friends, I forget their names, whoever, and whoever, and they always give me the best advice. Okay, so you're gonna answer one of those questions as your character in your Flipgrid, and then for your second question in the Flipgrid, just tell us something that you have been doing that is making this whole safer at home thing a little bit more enjoyable for you. So for example, I taught myself how to do my own gel manicures. I got a kit online and spent like a couple hours doing this yesterday, but this was something that just like reminds me of something that I got to do, you know, before we all had to stay inside, and it's just kind of fun to do and I like the sound. Okay, so make sure to tell us something that is making this whole experience a little more enjoyable for you. And don't forget to watch other people's videos because maybe they've got some really good ideas. Don't forget that next week is spring break, so I will not be assigning anything over spring break, but I will see you on Monday, April 13th. We'll have a whole separate, different unit that we start on that day. And if there's anything that you were behind on right now and you feel like working on it over spring break, that might be a good time. I'm gonna use spring break to figure out the online Power School system. I guess it's a little bit different than the one that we had before, but the one that we had before I only have on my classroom desktop, so I haven't been able to put any grades into Power School and I haven't been able to update any grades. So I'm gonna learn the new system. So hopefully I'll figure that out and then I can like adjust grades or, you know, add points for things that you guys did or whatever. So this might be a good time to work on that. So anyways, don't forget to delete that last page of this Google Slides presentation. Finish up the rest of it, do your Flipgrid video, give us a tip, and then I will see you on Monday, April 13th. All right, bye guys.